Over on the website, Jeff Carlisle writing about the plans for MLS. June 8th, the date where things could return. Well, Ali Moreno joins us now. Ali, I wanted to talk to you about what Don Garber had to say to Taylor Twellman this week with the possibility of maybe a tournament format to sort out this season. What do you think of it?
Well, I think he mentioned the tournament format, but I think first and foremost, his priority and the priority of Major League Soccer is to get in as many games as possible. So you just mentioned the June 8th date. And if you do the math, okay, all right, that gives you about 5 months or so in which you have to fit in 32 games. In terms of the timing, I think it is doable to get that many games in if indeed you start by June 8th. However, this is the point that gets tricky, and it's the logistics, and it's the travel, and it's venues being available in certain times. And so that's when there has to be some flexibility from Major League Soccer, from the clubs, from everybody involved in saying, all right, how can we schedule games in a way in which we can actually accomplish that goal of getting as many games in as possible so that we have a true sense of what a regular season can be and should decide what your seeding is going into the playoffs. Now, if they're unable to get as many games as they want to make it a significant regular season, then I think that's when MLS is going to consider the possibility, all right, let's go into a tournament-style format and kind of shift around a little bit what we're trying to do with the season. But I think first and foremost, as I said before, MLS's priority is, you know what, I think we can still get a season in and a significant regular season in and make sure that that is what we try to do. If we accomplish that, then we can set into what is it that we're going to do with the playoffs. Until then, I think it's fluid for MLS. I think they're willing to shift one way or the other. So it is really important, and I think this is a key thing. It's really important that that June 8th date is a realistic one, and you really think of that as a starting point for Major League Soccer. Able to do that, then you're able to plan what comes next.
Say that isn't achievable, and we're pushed up to August, September time where this tournament format may have to be implemented. As a player, would you mind that? You want to play. You're a player, you want to be out on the field. And after having sat for who knows how many months, you want to be out there on the field. But I have to say that it really puts a huge, huge asterisk as to what the real weight and significance of a potential MLS Cup title would be, because it's a truncated season, because you don't have a body of work, because you don't really know exactly what the dynamics of this tournament are going to be. So as a player, you want to be out on the field, but also if you're going to win, you want to win the whole thing. And you want to make it significant, and you want to make it something that is worth your while and is the worthwhile of your teammates as well. And so if indeed we get to that point where you're talking about August, September, and now we don't really have a plan in place, it's tough to really take seriously what this season may look like. And so you ought to consider, I think, in my opinion, you ought to consider a different plan of action where the season maybe rolls over into next year, where maybe you take a winter break, where maybe you consider the possibility potentially of moving into a European-type schedule, if for no other reason for the fact that you have a built-in excuse to try to match up with the rest of the world. But to do a tournament style over a course of a month and try to make that a significant part of your history, I don't think it doesn't quite match. So for me, either you get all the games in that you can and then have a true playoff structure, but once it gets into that August, September kind of deal and you don't have anything really sorted out, then I don't know that a tournament style will do the trick. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.